Beret sniper writes to Michael Moore. Bryan Sikes, a Green Beret sniper, wrote a letter to Michael Moore. It's funny. Bryan Sikes started off with addressing Michael Moore and calling him a sweetheart. He told Moore he should thank the men and women of the American military, and that also includes us cowardly snipers. He hilariously commented on him licking the jelly off of his fingers so he could tweet false stuff about snipers. Advertisement. Sikes also said that he and his friend laughed at Moore's comments. He brought up the fact that Moore is worth $50 million and yet he keeps bitching and crying. He compared him to a moth being addicted to the flame. Sikes said the director looks dumber than a bag of hammers and he should be more original than attacking snipers through social media. It's typical of men like you to criticize the intestinal fortitude, focus, discipline and patriotism of a sniper. It must stem from an inferiority complex or something. But hey, it's okay, cupcake. We, snipers, are thick-skinned, and the efforts of world-class turds such as yourself to portray us in a negative light only makes us laugh, Sikes let her read. He knows exactly what we all know about Moore. He's a rich liberal who feels the need to look down his nose and trash people who fight for the freedom for him to do that. It's embarrassing that anyone has made this moron famous. Advertisement. Sikes had to school him and could have schooled him even more in person. Michael Moore is a pussy and is all words. Who should call out Michael Moore next? Should it be another person from the U.S. military? What do you think of this letter? A furious First Lady goes full Tiger Mom on Mika Brzezinski after her incursion on Bryan Trump. A furious Melania Trump punched back hard against Mika Brzezinski this weekend, defending herself and her son, Bryan Trump. Brzezinski, the Morning Joe co-host, was the source of deep controversy this week, as President Donald Trump openly feuded with the MSNBC show over its coverage of his presidency. Trump attacked the hosts of the show personally over their intelligence and looks. Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough responded, questioning the mental stability of the president. In the fallout of the grudge match, Mika expanded her criticism to the entire First family, going after the First Lady Melania and her son, Bryan Trump. In an interview, Brzezinski claimed Melania has the worst job in the country and that it was only because of Bryan that she was remaining the First Lady. I know Melania. I haven't talked to her in months, but if my gut is right, I don't think she's going to put up with it much longer. I know nothing. That's just my instinct, and I go with my gut, and my gut's always right. I'm just telling you, Melania's got the worst job in the country, and I don't think she wants to do it a lot longer. I think she will do it for as long as she has to for her son, and that's it. After the salacious accusation, the First Lady hit back. Melania responded in a statement, calling the Morning Joe co-host sad. Melania said Brzezinski does not know her and was using the First family to further her own agenda. It is sad when people try to further their own agenda by commenting on me and my family, especially when they don't know me. Brzezinski bringing Bryan into the fray to attack the president clearly struck a nerve for the First Lady. Just this month, Melania and 11-year-old Bryan officially moved into the White House. The very private Bryan has become his own star, captivating the White House beat with his bold fashion choices and boyish wonder. Bryan, dressing like his father on an official trip. Bryan has endured his fair share of abuse since Donald Trump entered office in January. He has been 1. Called autistic in a public video. 2. Mocked for his looks at the inauguration. 3. Called a homeschool shooter. 4. Accused of animal mutilation. 5. Called a murderer. The inclusion of Bryan in the grudge match clearly set off Melania. The First Lady has agreed to sit-down interviews with Brzezinski in the past, but clearly, the feud has had a chilling effect on the relationship. The president continued attacking the MSNBC show over the weekend, claiming on Twitter that the show's executives are skewing the coverage against him and savaging the hosts, calling them Crazy Joe Scarborough and dumb as a rock Mika. Inauguration Day Riot, Puerto Pater gets prison. A Tampa man was stuck with 4 months in jail Friday after taking part in an Inauguration Day riot that hurt 6 police officers and cost tens of thousands of dollars in damages in Washington, D.C. Dane Powell, 31, was caught on video sporting a black flag while tossing rocks and bricks at D.C. police officers and breaking store windows during the 30-minute riot that enveloped 16 city blocks, prosecutors said. He was also dressed in black and had part of his face covered. Advertisement. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jennifer Kirchhoff said Powell was seen in Logan Circle the day prior to President Trump's inauguration with gas masks and carrying the same black flag seen in the video, the Tampa Bay Times reported. He initiated violence, Kirchhoff said. He came to the District of Columbia to engage in violence by hiding his face, throwing rocks and running. He is a violent coward. Kirchhoff called Powell among the most violent of the defendants that participated in the riot. Advertisement. He was throwing rocks and bricks at windows where people, customers and children were inside, she said. He charged the police line with bricks. Powell asked Judge Lynn Leibovitz for leniency and asked for forgiveness for anyone who was scared, hurt or felt threatened, the Times reported. Powell's attorney Ashley Jones stated to the court her client, who spent 9 years in the Army, did not go to the Inauguration Day riot to riot, but to protest in a peaceful manner. She also, in typical liberal fashion, blamed the cops for the violence. According to the Tampa Bay Times, Powell pleaded guilty in July to his attack on a cop and inciting a riot, which is considered felony charges. Authorities said 234 people were arrested during the riots and of those, 198 cases are pending. Do you think that his lawyer is a moron? Do you believe that all of these rioters should be thrown in jail? Jason Alexander makes a mistake to President Donald Trump. Seinfeld is the most legendary show in TV history. Jerry Seinfeld is now one of the richest men in the world and he avoids trouble. Julia Louis-Dreyfus has another show that she is on. Jason Alexander and Michael Richards have received some negative spotlight. Michael Richards got backlash over a racist rant at a nightclub about a decade ago. Jason Alexander has avoided the negative press for the most part, but of course, he had to go on Twitter and go after Trump. He tried to berate Trump, but instead, he ended up embarrassing Slick Willie Clinton. Jason needs to stick to acting. It is a horrible idea to alienate half your fan base by speaking in stupid liberal doubletalk when you clearly don't know what you are talking about. He should know that nearly every president had done something wrong. Lincoln arrested journalists that he disagreed with and everyone sings Lincoln's praises. Jason was very popular during the 90s, so it's quite odd that he completely missed Clinton's affair and perjury. He clearly isn't cut out to be a politician or even talk about politics. What do you think of his stupid comments? Wow. Bill Gates admits Trump is right. Microsoft founder Bill Gates just admitted President Trump is right and that all the liberals are 100% wrong with their stance on open migration from radical Islamic countries. He warned that when you combine a few factors such as Africa's population explosion, huge Muslim population growth, and wars tearing apart half the world, migration left unchecked will overwhelm Europe unless that ancient continent gets smart in a hurry. Advertisement. Gates says they need to make it way more difficult for migrants to reach its shores and cross its Swiss cheese-like borders. According to Breitbart, the American multi-billionaire made his comments as European leaders as they wrestle with what to do about the growing number of Africans arriving in Italy each week. An already overrun Rome is demanding other European Union, EU, countries do something to help them with the crisis. Advertisement. In an interview with the German Welt am Sonntag newspaper, Gates said massive migration from Africa and Syria will result in enormous migratory pressure on Europe. Gates spoke of a dilemma caused by the German Chancellor Angela Merkel's disastrous decision to open Europe's borders to illegal migrants arriving from Syria, Africa and other parts of the Third World. On the one hand, you want to demonstrate generosity and take in refugees, but the more generous you are, the more word gets around about this, which in turn motivates more people to leave Africa, Gates said, basically explaining why we have an illegal immigration problem. Words travels about our generous welfare system and they come running. Germany cannot possibly take in the huge, massive number of people who are wanting to make their way to Europe. Correct. Unless they stem the flow of migrants, Europe will never be the same. Share this if you are so thankful Trump won and stopped this migration to our shores.